Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2019. Stage Racer, episode number 66. Of course, we're in the middle of Giro d'Italia. It's stage number 11. This stage is pretty much down to sprinters, but because the climb is right there at the end, yeah, you never know for sure. I plan on bypassing this stage unless something gets my attention. Alright, so I've got a little breakaway from the field, and I don't know if it'll hold here in the final moments, but gel just kicked in. We're attacking the last little punchy spot. I've got about 10 seconds over the peloton. I think I probably will get caught, but there's that small chance that it won't happen. We're going to go into the aero tuck here in just a moment, and then try to see it out to the finish as we hold that 16-second lead now. 1.5K to go. 1K to go. Sprint it out to the end. And yes, that will be a stage victory. So I attacked just at the top of the Category 4 climb and held on. Got a stage win over the sprinters. Actually over a real mix of the field. I don't know if there will be any sort of time gaps out there. Obviously, these guys coming in now will have lost time. The others, no idea if they'll give it to me or not. It was more than 10K away from the finish, so it should. But you know this game. Either way, I pick up my 51st career victory. And what is that? My second here in the Giro?
Now for the best moments of the day.
Didn't hang on by much, but hung on. Knowing this game, it will not give me a gap, and it won't give gaps behind either. But maybe. No gap. No gap behind. Third group got a gap. So I remain in 5th place overall. Dumoulin, Roglic, Moss, Bennett. I suppose either way. I'll take it. A win's a win. We're 16 points. And as we move into the back half of the Giro, we know things have got to start picking up. As in the intensity, the climbs are going to get bigger. It's just the Giro. So stage 12 is a sprint. Stage 13, punchy, but with 4 climbs, especially 2 of them late on and steep. That's definitely going to be a small group. 14, lots of climbing. I love 15. Can't wait for 15. 19's a big one, so it's 20. We are 87 chasing 9 heading into the penultimate climb. It's the biggest climb of the day. Category 1, 8.3 kilometers, 13.5 max gradient with an 8.7 average. Levels off a little bit at the top, but otherwise it's very steady all the way up. Let's go ahead and bring it on down. I'm already down to just Trentin at this point. Everybody else has been dropped. Schultz shouldn't have been dropped, but he went to get water at, the best time not to get water. And saw himself out the back as the group split in the middle of a climb as he was trying to bring water bottles back towards the front. Breakaway, just 9 riders and they are all just out of us. We are on the verge of pulling them back here in just the next little bit. Meanwhile, we're holding our position. Trentin starting to fade a bit. We're down to 80 in the peloton, and the number is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. We're already down to 60, and quite a few guys going backwards. The 9 ahead of us, gap holding. I'd rather see us catch them before the top, but I'm not certain that's going to happen. 3K to go to the top. Let's go ahead and speed it up for a little bit longer here. I don't expect any fireworks for the next little bit, though we are down to 30 now in the peloton. And the front riders getting reeled in one by one, just one left. Last man is Simone Clark. Meanwhile, I'm getting pretty dang close to tired here, but I should make it over the top. These are the last 1.5. Clark leading the KOM now by 36 points after that one. And it's just 25 of us chasing him, half a minute behind. And I'm recovering while we descend. A lot of riders are going to be solo for that final climb. Recovery pretty good. Not complete though, as we begin to head up the other side. Got Evenepoel, Meyer, Valgren working at the front. Soler trying to bring himself to the front to support his team. $2.2K to the top. Tempting to attack this. 24 riders left. 1.5.
Attacked by Rohan Dennis.
3-man break. Lopez de Moulin with me.
15 kilometers to the finish line.
And let's go ahead and go into relay. $80 working with me over the top. See if they'll continue to work with me. We got a 7-second gap over one rider who has caught us, Moss. So now a 4-man group, and it's time for me to sit up. I'm not getting any help. 4 of us are 40 seconds clear of 13 riders. This would be a really good opportunity for the 4 of us.
Only 10 kilometers left.
I can recover a bit on the... nope, never mind. Back to 17 riders. We'll now focus on our own position. 18 riders. Maybe 13. Oh, Moss, Soler, Martinez, Gegenhardt, Ciccone with the big crash here late on the descent. Took the corners too fast. And now it's 12 of us towards the finish line. One chaser who doesn't matter, Roglic, Landa out the back. Lopez. Get ourselves off the front. Let's see if we can get it back to Lopez. Can we make contact? We do. Good. 3K to go. Let him lead the way now. Gel kicks in. 2-man. 2K. Now it's back to 12. 1.7. Let's stay in front.
There goes the sprint. The strong men are giving their all.
Stay in front. Not going to get the stage this way, but at least I don't get dropped out of it. Hagita for the stage. That's good. That doesn't hurt us at all. Bardet, Carapaz, Lopez, de Moulin, Sosa, Bennett, Uman, Bilbao, Haig, Valgren, and myself. Definitely on the same time. Big gap behind us. And there is Moss returning to his bike. Always a funny animation to see that one. You haven't seen the rider in a while. So Moss, Martinez, Thomas, Hershey, Micah, Evenepoel, Caruso, Gegenhardt all losing some time. Unfortunate for them to crash on the descent so late in the stage, but that is part of the sport. So we end up with a little bit of time gaps today on the favorable side. We'll see if there's any shake-up to the standings at all. There's definitely a couple bigger names with time losses like Moss. Time cut's already gone. It's only 43 minutes today, and there was definitely at least one rider after. So at least one rider will have withdrawn today based on time. There you go, same time and then a minute and a half gap to these guys. And then 3:49 to the next group. So, out of time, Scully, Dylan Groenewegen out of time. Ouch for him. So 3 guys out today, down to 166 in the field after that. My teammate Killen is living up to his namesake. Alright, so Moss loses a minute 29. Okay, still ahead of us. He went from 2nd to 4th. So he slips from 2nd to 4th to Milan in the lead. Roglic, Benner. Did Roglic lose time also? Where? Carapaz. There's Milan. There's Benner. I don't see Roglic. Roglic lost time as well. So, Roglic and Moss both losing time, giving Dumoulin a fairly healthy lead now. We stay in 5th place. Higuita, after winning the stage, is at 7th. Thomas, I think, lost time, didn't he? And Micah and Gegenhardt. Is that correct? Thomas, Gegenhardt, Micah, all losing time, yeah. So that did turn out pretty well for us, as quite a few of the top 10 riders, half of them anyway, losing about a minute and a half today. I'll take that bad evaluation for the stage, because nothing was bad about that. We gained time on rivals. Largely due to a late crash on the descent behind us. Feel like we could have gained more if my small group, if the 4 of us would have worked together. We could have crossed that line clear of the other 9 riders that eventually made up the front group. Stage 14, much bigger, same essence, climb, and again. None of them are serious, major climbs, but it's 210k with 2 bigger climbs and a little uphill at the finish. I would expect kind of a similar day, though. I really do think it would be a similar day to the last one, unless the pace is pretty hot in the field during these initial climbs to totally break it up then. If we get to an intact peloton by here, it won't be that big of a deal today. We're already in the midst of the bulk of the climbing for the entire day on this first climb, as you go up before we ever hit categorization. And then it's back to back from there, only to level off for a little while before 2 big climbs at the end. So, not an easy day. It's a day that I really needed a good race day condition and didn't get it. And really unfortunate too, because I was in such a position with the weather and my position overall, and my recovery rate, etc., that I should have had a +1 today. Didn't end up with it. Ended up drawing a -2. Basically brings me down to about level, a +1 on the mountain rating, and the hills, the acceleration, and the recovery, -1 on the downhill. So it just about levels off. But it's not going to be an easy day. So Peloton already shrinking considerably before we even hit the top of this first climb, this 12-kilometer climb that was really nearly 100 kilometers in length. So it's done its damage, Peloton shrinking. But the breakaway, very worrying today. Very. 26 riders got away, so already a big number, real chance for them. But littered with quality riders. We can't see it now, but Max Schachmann is one of the closest riders to us that we've almost caught up to. You've got lots and lots of quality climbers. Formolo, Masnada, Mater, all up the road that we see. Beyond that, I already saw names including Bardet, Quintana, Micah, guys that are in the top 10 or would normally be in the top 10, but are serving as support riders or Birdor stage victory type riders this time. So as I recover after that first climb, I still have 4 teammates around me. Nizzolo looking pretty weak. Trentin not hanging on terribly well. Schultz is looking good today. He's a +2. Scottson's doing pretty well today. On to the second climb. Category 2 are already 5K from the top, so it's not that long of a climb this time. But the relentless back-to-back nature of these will do damage, and we will have less than 77 for sure by the time we get to the top of the next peak. How much less, though? Depends on how hard we chase those front riders. Tollhook among them, going for points. Caruso now into the lead over Clark. Wow, that happened really quick. And Peloton shrinking further, 68 now. 67 as we go over the top. And we drop 2 guys, Nizzolo and Trentin, among the 12 that went out the back. Down to Scottson and Schultz. It looks like Scottson's about to get dropped. There's still 21 riders out in front of us, so we've only caught 5 of those guys. So again, kind of pointing at just how scary that group is. We've lost half the peloton, but only caught a few breakaway riders, even though we only gave them about a 1.5-minute gap, which is now over 3 minutes. So they've ridden away from us, and they've lost quite a few fewer riders than what we've lost. Alright, that's over the third peak. More time to recover this time, so Schultz should be pretty good. He needs to switch his strategy to now focusing on protecting me, as Scottson is the latest to get dropped. So 61 now, chasing. 18 left in the front group, so you can still see Mataway, Formolo, caught in no man's land, but Bardet, Quintana, Micah, all there, like I said. Jan Hurt, Jan Izagira, Bilbao, Uran. I mean, what a freaking group that is. They are super dangerous today, and because of their position, I do fear their potential. Gap at 3 minutes. Imagine it's going to start coming down a bit. Micah apparently interested in the KOM. That would actually be good for us as Peloton's down to 31, but we're still chasing 17, and it's still a 2.5-minute gap. I'm looking good, but Schultz isn't going to last much longer. He won't make it to the top of the next climb, I don't think. Okay. Let's bring it on down.
This climb is feared by many riders. The percentages are very high.
There we go. Okay, so 29 chasing 15. It's down to a minute 45. So we are catching up to those guys as we begin the final two climbs. Schultz not going to last much longer here. It's a little worrying for me. I still have 8K to go to the top. It's 9.1% average gradient for the entirety of the climb. And Schultz is heading out the back. So this is now peloton of just 23. Front group is now breaking apart, so we put enough pressure on that they have shattered. It's going to bring back most of those guys. We're down to a minute 15. And there's 19 of us chasing what's left of now just 9 riders off the front. 17. 3.5K to go. I'll make it to the top of this climb okay. And I should have enough time to recover on the descent.
Counter-attack by Romain Bardet.
Alright, so status now. We've got at least 7 off the front, plus whoever's in front of them, meaning there's at least 8 off the front. I've had my recovery. Let's grab some water bottles. It's just 12 of us here.
Watch out! A team leader is falling behind.
Come on now. Come on. Let's slow this down a little bit. Okay, hand went up. Where's the water? Come on, why are we drifting further back now that we're at the base and we see a temporary split, which drives me nuts, but we are 12 and we are chasing 8 riders off the front. Uran, Caruso are the next ones. And then the other group. We do get our recovery done. We do get our water in. We have 30K to go. We caught the next group, so there's 17, or a group caught us. Not sure which. I think a group caught up to us. And we are just under 10K to go on this one. Overall, it's a 12K climb, 5.5%. Not a big one here at the end. It's just category 2. But this late on, everybody riding solo, you can definitely see that there is the potential for damage out there. But also, good chance to recover on the descent with a little uphill at the end. So we got to keep an eye out because there is a chance that the group could be attacked and thin out further, which it's actually thinning out. We're down to 14. Back to 15 as we claw back. Caruso, Damiano Caruso now back into the peloton from the break. Four riders at the front, 2 in no man's land, so that's a total of 6. And here come the attacks. Carapaz, Lopez. Still 2K to go.
A team leader is falling behind.
2 riders attack, 2 riders dropped. And now it splits even farther. 1.3K to go.
There's an attack in the group at the front.
Counter-attack by Rafael Mashka.
Alright, this is okay. We're all together. We're all together. Lopez trying to attack here on the descent. I just made it. I should recover a bit. It's already starting.
As they go over
So
the
we
top
have
of the
13,
line,
and we're chasing just 4. Bilbao in the lead, Bardet, Micah,
finish line.
and Cataneo. And those guys have a 2-minute gap, so they are going to take the stage, which sucks because Micah's in the top 10. He's going to move up the standings quite a bit. I have no idea whose bright idea it was to let them get into the break. But with 13K to go, there's 0 chance of catching those guys. I mean, it's 2 minutes. They're going to come together and
The finish line is
duke it out for the
riders just
stage,
past
but
20 kilometers
those
road
4 are clearly going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 today, and we're going to be battling for 5th place. There you go. They are back together now. 2:25. We're not even chasing hard. 10K to go. I'm recovered. It's going to be a little uphill towards the end. Tempted to attack this group because you could take time, but with the uphill finish, I'm nervous that they would just come right back at me.
Acceleration by Mashka.
Okay, 6K to go. We're going to wait just a little bit longer. 5.5, there we go. It's only slightly uphill. Alright, I see the attacks, little attacks coming in our group now.
Create some gaps.
4.5K. Gegenhardt, Moss, Tamulon, Carapaz. We are thinning out. No, we are not. For now, we are all together. We sit up for a moment, and it instantly opens a gap. And nobody else is able to chase except for me.
Who's going to be the first of the line today?
But I'm going to have to let them take up the chase because I don't have the energy to attack this. Okay, we're all back together. We're all back together. That's good.
A great
Bilbao takes the stage over Bardet. Micah takes third. Cataneo. And then that's 1 minute is the gap. Now we can attack. We're all coming in together. Ineos, Ryder, Landa takes fifth. Bennert sixth. Frank, Moss, Mulan, Gegenhardt all here.
We're waiting for the back markers who appear to be fairly numerous in this difficult race.
Small group. And a couple names that aren't necessarily up the order. Sosa loses time. Hagita loses a bunch of time. Still nervous about Micah and Bardet gaining time like that. Micah especially. Bardet's clear that he's been going 4 stages. But Micah is a bit too high up the standings to have been allowed to be in that group. Thought he was already in the top 10. So 15th on the stage. More importantly, I finished with the Peloton group.
Best moments of the day.
A little nervous about Micah's position. There's going to be some gains on Hagita. Minute 33 behind overall. And then it's a 5:11 to the next, meaning your race is done. Hagita, your race is done. Sosa, his race is done. Uran loses a time. Geraint Thomas, 8:11 behind for him. Ciccone was up the order a little bit, so those guys all go backwards. Huge gaps now from 11th on back. Landa, Hagita, Carapaz, out of it. There's Bardet. So top 10, Gegenhardt at 6 minutes down is nearly too far back now. Lopez is 5 down. Bilbao, winning the stage, jumps back into the top 10 at 4:25. Micah at 3:28, all moving up the order, being part of that breakaway. That's what I'm talking about. Free time for them. To me, that is the Thibaut Pinot effect, right? Lose time, be out of the top 10. Halfway through the race, be in a breakaway that wins, claims time, or just win a stage, claim time. Breaking away, early yourself, attacking earlier on a climb, and nobody's worried about you because you're in like 14th overall or 12th overall, and then you gain 2-3 minutes, where others lose minutes, and all of a sudden you find yourself back in it. Micah and Bilbao have definitely just done that. Haig at 2:52, we're at 2:25. Moss, Bennett, Roglic, Mulan still there. So really 6 in contention, 2 that suddenly find themselves in the mix and they're not going to be in the break anymore. They should definitely be dropping down the order. And then a couple guys further back. It's not a bad result because we don't lose time to anyone that matters, but in a way, it bugs me that we lose a big chunk of time to two riders that weren't in contention because they're allowed to be in the breakaway when they're still in contention. Alright, well, that is 2/3 of the race now complete. I sit in third in the World Tour rankings, and I still lead the Super Prestige 1 point away from 1800. So yes, I'm in a good place, but I don't know. That last stage just irks me a little bit that other teams allowed key riders like that to gain time. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. And of course, I'm still in recovery from pneumonia, though I'm actually feeling better at the moment than I have in over a month because I was already sick. But my wife has it as well. We've got the daycare to run, so we are working together through that. So this week is still difficult for me to find much time to sit down and record, as I'm spending a lot of time down in the daycare and really have a limited amount of stamina as I'm still recovering from this. So I'm back to about 1.5 episodes a day. Last week was 1 all week long, so it's getting better. I think I'll be back to normal schedule by next week. But I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye for now.